Okay, thank you for coming back to join me. This is a continuation of the previous video about personal credit cards. And so I want to go into the details and talk about the specs of some of the credit cards that I do have. And so that way you can have information and make an educated decision in what you want to do with your personal credit. So I'll try to remember the order in which I did the last information so I can stay in the same order. And so I have here, which is the Expedia City card that I was telling you about, the one where I have a credit limit of 5,000. So this particular card, I'm going to first jump down to the specifications of the card. You'll see that with this card, it is not offering any kind of introductory 0% APR. You're starting off somewhere between 14.99 to 22.99, which is, of course, depending on credit worthiness. I did see this that is news to me, but it makes sense for it to be an Expedia, travel card more or less. There are no foreign transaction fees. So basically what that means is if you travel abroad to a country where USD is not their currency, you will not be charged an additional fee to convert that US dollar to whatever, whatever currency for the location that you're located in. And so if you travel a lot, that's actually a big deal because you can save a lot of money. I know that generally when I've traveled, I stick to one particular card now for this very specific reason, but I will say that I've traveled before and used other cards, and you see the fees add up. Sometimes it's like 2%, 2.5%. That's per purchase. So that ends up being a pretty substantial, amount of money if you're swiping your card for everything as opposed to carrying cash, because I know generally a lot of people go more towards cards because they're safer, especially when you're traveling. However, of course, it is good to have backup cash just in case something happens to your card so you're not stranded and up the creek. So back to the card. So the Expedia Rewards card with Citi, there's no annual fee, which is a big deal for me because I like to save money, not spend it. And also, so this is a pretty sweet deal, I suppose, depending on what these 15,000 points are equivalent to. So you get 15,000 Expedia reward points after $1,000 in purchases within the first 3 months, first 90 days of opening the account. Most give you a time frame in which you have to actually spend the money to get the reward points for it. For them, it's 90 days. And so I'll also add, and I'll get to it in a second. Yep, here it is that you actually get more bonus points for actually using Expedia to make purchases. And then you also get bonus points for other purchases, non-Expedia related purchases. So if you're a big Expedia purchaser, this may be of a benefit to you. I know that I shy away from booking third parties, not unless for whatever reason it's cheaper, which sometimes it is over booking direct. Just a little tidbit that I'll give you is that sometimes when you book third party for hotels and flights, sometimes you forfeit any kind of loyalty or reward points directly through that company. So prime example, Hilton is one of those companies. If you book through a third party, you do not get the Hilton reward points for that booking. FYI, I learned that the hard way. But anyway, moving along. And so it's saying here you have no limit on the number of Expedia reward points that you can earn. Silver status is complimentary, whatever silver status entitles you to. Who knows? Sounds good though, right? City entertainment, you get special access. So I will say this may be a benefit for those of you who like to go to concerts and do all kind of events that, end up being exclusive events where you have like booking tiers where you can't book first. You have to wait. A lot of things I've noticed are done through Citibank and Citi Card. They're often sponsoring a lot of these events. So they're saying here that you qualify for City Entertainment, which gives you special access to purchase tickets to thousands of events. If you care about that, then that's super cool. Digital wallet. Okay, so I will say one cool thing about this card. Like I told you, I don't personally recommend it because it doesn't work for my life, but I do have it. But one cool thing that I found out you could do with this card is that you can make virtual credit card numbers. What that means is that you can make a virtual credit card number that is tied to this actual physical card that you receive. So at any point you can terminate that number and whatever you've used it for no longer has access to your card. And so I know more and more is being recommended when you're using subscription services because some of these subscription services make it very difficult for you to cancel. You have to, sell your firstborn, send a pigeon carrier over, and then wait for it to come back. And they make you go through all of these hoops to cancel. And this part would save you a lot when you're able to use that virtual credit card number. It gives you a virtual credit card number, a virtual CV code to confirm it. It's actually pretty genius and ahead of its time because I don't know any other bank that does that. Drop it in the comments if you know another one that does, because I'm sure somebody else does. I just don't know who it is. So that was a little tidbit there. This is going back to the APR and credit worthiness. Minimum finance charge 50 cents. Okay. Cash advance if you need to. So very straightforward card. To me, it does not offer an abundance of benefits. But again, I possess it, so I just keep it. Maintaining is what I do, you know. So next card that I spoke about is Chase cards. So I'm seeing here that they have the Chase Freedom Unlimited as well as the Chase Freedom Flex. So apparently, and I think I knew this, I didn't say it last time, but the Chase Freedom card has been replaced by the Chase Freedom Flex. Let's go deeper and see how it's different. So they give you a nice little comparison chart so you can choose which one of these cards do I want, if not both. So the Chase Freedom Unlimited, you can earn a $200 bonus after you spend $500 in the first, again, 90 days. 90 days seems to be like the sweet spot for getting your rewards to make sure you spend money. But I will say the Chase Freedom Flex gives you that 0% APR for 15 months. So it just depends on, so it seems like they sell this card a lot for the low entry level APR. And if you did not watch the business video, I explained that that's super important if you're trying to at some point carry a balance. And so for that 15 months, that's essentially telling you they will not charge you any interest as long as you pay the minimum payment for 15 months. And then after that, the interest rate goes between the 14.9 to 23.74. So I think it's a good deal depending on what you're doing with yourself at the time. I see that Chase Freedom Unlimited is not advertised as a low entry APR card. So I guess they do not start you off with 0% anything. You start off at the gate with an interest rate, which, again, that may be fine because most cards are like that. A lot of them are. And so no matter the card, you're always earning 2 cards with 2 rewarding ways to earn cash back. Did I sell that? Hopefully. So this goes back to kind of what I was saying. So you have your 5% if you purchase through the Unlimited Rewards, 3% on dining, 3% on drugstores, and then there's that 1.5% that I mentioned on all other things. So it looks like they switched this up quite a bit. So it's the same thing for the Chase Freedom Flex up until, okay, here we go. This is the categories I was telling you about. So I think this Chase Freedom Flex is looking like it's pretty much the regular Freedom with some additional little sprinkles on top. And so what I was saying to you was about the categories. 5% up to $1,500 in combined purchases in bonus categories each quarter when you activate. So what Chase does is that they give you these special categories. I know, so top of the head, it's been like telecommunication services, gas stations, and membership warehouse like Costco, Sam's, BJ's. So for that quarter, you can get 5% on those purchases up to $1,500. And then the next quarter, it might change to something else. Restaurants and Walgreens, I've seen Walgreens be one of them. And, add in something else random. And then you get 5% on that. But the kicker is that with all other purchases, you only get that 1% versus the 1.5% with the Chase Freedom Unlimited. But other than that, literally everything else is the same about these 2 cards. So again, you'll have to definitely decide what is advantageous or important to you. But me looking at this for the first time with the Chase Freedom Flex, I would go with the Freedom Flex simply because the low entry APR, like that would be the kicker. These reward points to me are not distinguishably different enough for me to care. I think I would just literally jump on the low APR, introductory APR of 0%. They both are rocking with no annual fee, so you don't have to worry about paying for the card, which is super important to me. I'll reemphasize that again because I don't believe in paying to pay money. And so that's that. So extra things, they have partnerships with Lyft, DoorDash, complimentary DoorDash Pass, 5% back on Lyft rides until 2022. I wonder what they're going to do after that. That's interesting. And then these are some of the protections and benefits that both cards have. Zero liability protection from fraud, purchase protections in case you get something and it breaks and you want, extended warranty. They give you credit scores and identity restoration, fraud, auto collision, damage waiver, trip cancellation insurance, travel and emergency assistance. But one thing the Freedom Flex has over the Freedom Unlimited is cell phone protection, whatever that means. That's kind of broad. But you can click on those little asterisks, I suppose, and get more information about those two cards as it relates to cell phone protection. So those are those two cards in a nutshell. Essentially the same card, just with little tweaks of differences, and so you can decide which one is the best for you. Moving right along to American Express. So American Express has a ton of credit cards. They have charge cards, which are completely different. I am focusing on the ones that I have, because those are the ones I can tell you about with absolute certainty. The others would be speculation only. So here we are with the SkyMiles cards. So they have 4 SkyMiles cards: the blue, the gold, the platinum, the reserve. I have started out with the gold. When I first got it, got approved, got the gold. I have since upgraded to the platinum, which did require another credit inquiry for them to upgrade me. I don't know why. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But I will say they will downgrade you with no inquiry. I'll say that. So let's see what the big differences are. Like I mentioned, the miles on the Delta purchases, so it just varies about what the miles are. I have not flown Delta in an absolute long time. Even before COVID, I hadn't flown Delta in a while, simply because sometimes their pricing isn't the most competitive. And so I probably forfeited that benefit. You get restaurant points, supermarkets. Oh, I don't think I knew that. Eligible hotels. So yeah, I know they do some work with the Marriott, because I know I've gotten points for staying at the Marriott in an over the standard rate. Miles on other purchases, so you get 1% on everything else. Not percent, sorry. 1 times on everything else. And so here, the first check bag free. Oh, so the blue does not give you any kind of check bags on your flight. Interesting. And you also do not get the main cabin 1 priority boarding. So you forfeit those things by going blue instead of gold at a minimum. You can pay for your flights with the miles, yes. So Delta is the one that I've used as it relates to no foreign transaction fees. I actually use my Amex only for when I travel, like even car travel. I use my Amex so that I can differentiate expenses for me. I'll know what I spent here versus when I'm spending at home on regular bills and stuff. And so it's, for me, I can see how much I spent on that one trip without other stuff kind of feeding into it. So this is very good, the no foreign transaction fees with American Express. So that's cool. You get 20% back on actual purchases you make on the flight. So I guess if you're buying alcohol, getting boozed up, you get cash back. So you also get, the Delta Sky Club access. I passed it, but I guess I've never been into the Sky Club before. Okay, so it starts at the Platinum, where you can pay $39 per visit per person. I'm sure they have snacks in there, I think. Okay, and then with the Reserve is completely complimentary, and I'm sure there is a reason for that, which we will cover momentarily. Let's continue to scroll. Lounge access, medallion qualification waiver that has to do with their point infrastructure. Earn a $100 credit towards future travel when you spend $10K in purchases. Okay, that's only for the gold. That is interesting. Okay. Global entry or TSA. So I was able to utilize this benefit. So I get TSA access through the military. However, global entry is on me, so I have to pay for that personally. So global entry, the fee, is it $150? I mean, I guess a quick Google search will confirm or deny that. Anyway, I didn't have to pay it. So because I have this platinum card, I applied for it, and global entry is good for 5 years. And so essentially it's almost TSA's equivalent for international flights, where you don't have to go through the long custom lines. You're kind of like expedite the process. And so I ended up signing up for it. I paid for it with my Amex, and they reimbursed me the cost. So I thought that was super cool. And so the big thing is I waited until I upgraded to the platinum before I applied. So just to make sure I took advantage of that benefit because it's not available on the gold card, only the platinum and the reserve. So if you're a traveler, and it says global entry or TSA, you might as well go global entry because with global entry, it also gives you TSA. However, TSA does not give you global entry. So use that wisely and decide which one you need. If you already paid for TSA or you already have it through some other mechanism, that's cool too. But global entry is and gives you that extra perk for international flights. So this is what I was speaking of, the companion certificate upon renewal. So at one point, the gold card, this was years ago when I first had it, it offered a companion pass. They took it away. I don't know when. Kind of news to me. But you still have that offered with the gold card. I'm sorry, with the platinum card and the reserve card. So this other stuff is talking about status boost, upgrade, and get upgrade on your flight. That's cool. Some other things. But the part that I said about it being justifiable is getting down to annual fees. So, whoa, when did this happen? Okay, this is actual shock. This is actual shock. Wow. Okay. So the blue card has 0%, zero annual fee. The gold card has zero for the first year, then $99 after. The platinum card has $250. That went up. That certainly went up. Am I grandfathered in? So literally, I'm just finding that out. I'm going to have to call them about this one to see, because, yeah, anyway, let me stay on track. So, and then for the reserve, it's a $550 annual fee. And so I said those things are important to think about because some of these perks, in my eyes, when you're paying an annual fee, you're essentially paying for the perks. And you have to, again, validate, is that important enough for you to do that? So they give you a companion pass. For $250, you can fly your companion somewhere in my eyes, again. And then the free bags. To me, it depends on how often you fly to make that $250 worth it. And specifically fly with Delta to make that $250 worth it. So all these things you have to think about when you're getting into a card with an annual fee. Payment of the government. Oh, yeah, and then you have to pay the taxes of no more than $75 on round-trip flights, blah, blah, blah. Wow, that blew my mind. So I'm glad we did this. So those, in a nutshell, are your Delta SkyMiles cards. After seeing those annual fees, I don't say I would recommend that because those are high. Wow. Okay. American Express has a ton of cards, others that do not have an annual fee that you'd ever have to worry about and probably have a better actual reward structure. So something for you to keep in mind and consider. If you travel a lot, may be certainly worth it for you. Or if you've had the card for a long time, it may also still be worth it for you. But yeah, that's that. So next, we have not a credit card, but a personal line of credit. A lot of banks do not offer personal lines of credit anymore. I think even before COVID, I think they were kind of difficult to come by. But even now with COVID, restrictions have tightened up a little bit as far as giving out money that is unsecured and not backed by any kind of collateral. And so here we have this line of credit. So let me just tell you first, how does line of credit work? Line of credit works, they're saying, hey, you've been extended this line of credit for $10,000, however much. And what you can do is go to the bank, essentially do a withdrawal against that line of credit, and you just pay them back. They give you straight cash in your hand, you walk away. The thing about most lines of credit, specifically SunTrust's, is that it is accruing interest immediately. So a credit card gives you basically a grace period of roughly 30 days is a calendar cycle. So long as you pay them their money back within 30 days, you're not charged any interest. Lines of credit, not so much. They are charging you from the second you withdraw that money. So even if you return the money, immediately, like, and I say immediate, like the next day, you've accrued some interest because it accrues interest daily. And it may be, negligible, but there is some attached to it. So that is one thing to know about lines of credit. So next thing is going down to focus on some of the specifics on the line of credit. Let's see. There's the personal and then there's the select. I guess I just have the personal. What's the difference? Oh, for premier clients. Okay. And so the line of credit amount ranges from $5,000 to $250,000 up to $500,000 versus $25,000 to $5 million. Wow. Can be used for multiple expenses, gifts, home improvements. So they don't care what you use it for because it's an unsecured line of credit. Do what you please as long as you pay us back. And so it's saying that you have access to these funds. So there's another difference. You have access to these funds up to 4 years for that one and up to 5 years for this one. So basically what that means that after that time elapses, they will close the line of credit and you have to apply again. So it's only good for that amount of time. Application is in branch or over the phone. No application, cash advance, or annual fees. Neither one of them. Very good. As I mentioned, it is an unsecured line of credit. Scratch out the word loan. Unsecured line of credit, the personal credit line plus. And the select one has to be backed by an investment account with SunTrust with sufficient funds, minimum size $25,000. So here are some of the, here are some of the qualifications for the personal credit line plus. Verifiable eligible investment assets of $20,000 or more. And then the other one, you must be a SunTrust Premier or Private Wealth client. So yeah. Lines of credit are very flexible. So like I said, it gives you the cash in hand so that you'll be able to do whatever you need to do at that time with it. So I think that's pretty cool. And with this one, as long as you have $20,000 of assets to show liquidity, as well as, of course, credit score plays a part in that, you can apply. And so that is it that makes up the products that I have on the personal side. And of course, per usual, if you have any questions, let me know, and I look forward to hearing from you.